Good evening everyone and welcome to Ranunculus Designs. And today we will be starting one of our new series, which is Wedding Wednesdays. And basically what that means is whatever pops into my head for weddings, which I'm going to focus on florals because weddings are still very, very expensive. And if you are someone who's going to have one that's in person and you still want to have real flowers, then you will learn how you can make different floral arrangements, bouquets, boutonnieres, all those types of things with fresh flowers for that particular special day. So if that sounds like something you are interested in or could share with a friend, please keep watching. So today we're going to be using a tulip vase, which I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using my main flower, which are Ranunculus. I picked up all of these florals at my local Trader Joe's. You see we have baby's breath as well as chamomile. Both of these would be considered filler flowers. Leatherleaf is another filler flower that I'm pretty sure you guys have seen because everybody's used leatherleaf. It is individual sprigs of greenery that are in a triangle shape. You see them all the time with your basic general roses that you end up getting from your florist, and any kind of rose floral arrangement, you'll end up seeing leatherleaf a lot of times. And there are so many other flowers that are used as fillers, and those are things that you will learn as I continue with this particular series. So with this tulip vase, I'm going to show you a basic water arrangement in a simple vase. So I'm going to take my vase, and when you go to the Dollar Tree, if you happen to see the gel balls that are meant as vase filler, that is a way for you to keep your flowers hydrated longer, but our Dollar Tree was out of them. So I'm just going to take my water, which if you have any of the packets of floral food, you would want to go ahead and dissolve in the water. And you determine how much water you want to use in your floral arrangement. So now that I have my water here, the first thing that you want to do is you want to start with your flowers that are going to be filler. So I'm going to start with my baby's breath. Now, the scientific name for baby's breath is called gypsophilia. And just so you'll know what that is, I'll be putting these names on the screen. That way it can truly be a learning experience for you. Now, when you look at a sprig of baby's breath, you'll notice that it's not just one sprig of baby's breath, such as this here. You'll see that it's basically in a bunch. Well, you're not going to just stick an entire bunch of baby's breath into your tulip vase. They also call that a Mario vase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take scissors. Normally I would be using floral snips, but for whatever reasons I can't locate mine. If I can remember, I will be putting a link down in the description box so that you guys can pick up one for yourself, because they're really handy and that's really what you truly should be using. Now you'll notice I clipped off the little extra piece. That's because sitting in the vase, it really would not look nice. So while I go in and see the pieces that will not sit well in the vase and snap those off, I'm cutting the pieces off at an angle. The reason why I'm cutting them off at an angle is so it helps with water absorption and surface area. So I placed 2 in on the bunch, and I'm going to fill the bottom of the vase as nicely as I possibly can. And you'll notice I'm doing crisscross. Now, when you place your flower fillers into your vase, you'll notice that I'm crisscrossing everything, okay? And you'll notice this particular branch had a V shape. I'm using that to hold the other pieces of floral arranging, these pieces in a crisscross shape, because as you continue to add filler and your standout pieces of floral flowers, that's going to kind of create like a gridlock so that everything stays pretty much into place because it'll be interwoven. So this is actually enough of the baby's breath, and you still see that I have a sprig left. If I want to use that, then I can use that later on. But for right now, this is just enough. So I'm going to set this away, and then I'm going to come back with my next floral. So my next bunch of filler flowers are actually chamomile. Yes, this is the same flower that you can dry and make into a tea. So with the chamomile, you're going to notice that you have a stalk. You have a stalk here, and the stalk has little leaves and vegetation towards the bottom as it works its way up to the flower. The good thing about that is that it's very hardy. The bad thing about that is if these particular vegetation are underneath water, they will cloud your water and make your water toxic towards all of the other flowers that are in the water, and your arrangement will not last you for a week, possibly 2 weeks. provided depending on what type of floral food you've placed in there. So what you need to do is see where your chamomile is, how far up you want it to stick out of your vase, and you'll just kind of measure it. So you'll know where to make your cuts, if you can see that. So I'm actually gonna make my cut right here at this node. And then I will use that as my cutting guide and also pick off any vegetation that is lackluster, like this. And I'll use this as my guide. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snip off this vegetation here because it is lackluster. And I'll inspect my flower stalk, and any little pieces before I touch the stem here, I'm just gonna cut off anything that doesn't look nice. That way I don't have to worry about it later on. And then once I've done that, the area that I've decided I'm going to cut and make my entryway into my vase, I'm gonna check out my other flowers too, line them up, and make sure that they are also snipped at the same area and that there is no extra vegetation there that would be underwater. I think I'm gonna use 3 stalks. And as I arrange it, I'm going to still use my original filler flower grid and do crisscross with my chamomile, just like so. This one's kind of beat up, so you don't want to use that. And look how pretty that's coming along. Very, very nice. So next I'm going to move on to the actual florals that are my main flower for this arrangement. So my main flower is a ranunculus. Now I had ranunculus at my own wedding and they were pink. When I saw these at Trader Joe's, obviously nostalgia came back to me. But the color of these particular ranunculus is so beautiful because they're between a peachy coral and a blush. Now ranunculus people feel are roses, but they are not. But they are close in family to roses. They're very hardy as well, and as you can see, they're a very delicate flower. I kind of feel like certain ranunculus are prettier than roses, and they're definitely a more cost-effective substitute for peonies if you would like peonies at your wedding. Now, if you look at this particular ranunculus and you see the base, it's a very moist flower, which means it does take a lot of water for this flower to maintain its succulentness, kind of like hydrangea, but it's just so gorgeous to look at. So I'm going to snip the bottom and immediately get it into water, making sure that I am crisscrossing so that I'm building a beautiful arrangement where there's plenty of space and there's going to be plenty of water. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this arrangement as well. Now this particular ranunculus is twofold, you can see. So once I cut this ranunculus, I will have a tiny bud and a floral. So this is a way that you can actually get more ranunculus into a vase and save some money because you got 2 for 1. Hand me that bottle of water. Now I'm adding spring water, but you can add faucet water. The reason I'm using spring water is because I have the vitamins in here already, and I don't want to put more faucet water in. Now this beautiful ranunculus here, I'm gonna snip it, but I could get 3 for the price of 1, basically here. But I'm gonna just snip it here because I think this is so gorgeous, the way it just naturally separates. And this is gonna be my center flower that I actually have sticking up. Now you wanna be careful because you do not want to get any kind of foliage underneath this water line. This water line needs to remain clear and just have stems. Like I told you, the water will break down foliage and make it rot. We don't want anything rotten in our floral arrangement. Again, use 2 ranunculus for the price of 1, but I'm actually going to leave this one as well intact and just snip it at the bottom. And this one I shall place here. And then I'm going to turn my arrangement so that I can then add more ranunculus. So here is a simple yet beautiful floral arrangement that we have created that's going to look even more beautiful in the next couple of days as the rest of these ranunculus buds open up. This was a very simple arrangement, and it's one that doesn't really require anything other than a vase, which everyone has at home, and whatever flowers it is that you want to arrange. Please forgive the dogs barking in the background. If you enjoyed this particular video, please give us a thumbs up. Share this video with anyone who you think would be interested in it or actually know that they will be putting it to use. And always comment down below because I do enjoy reading the comments. Have an absolutely wonderful evening. Bye.